London Marathon is this weekend on Sunday, as usual. It is going to be a very, very star-studded field.
Yep.
Lincoln, give me a bold prediction.
The big rivalry between 201 man Eliud Kipchoge and 205 man Mo Farah once again coming down the pipeline in London. No, obviously I think Kipchoge is going to win. This is his follow-up race after the 201.39 world record in September in Berlin. He had mentioned jokingly and after that he was looking for the 202. He's run 203.05. This isn't a crazy bold prediction. I think he's going to run 202 mid and just trot in with a 202 and absolutely obliterate this field. I'm excited. The weather's going to be pretty good, it looks like. 50s for all you Fahrenheit fans. Yeah, we do need to check out that dew point. That'll be crucial.
That's critical.
But this race, is famous for obviously going out fast on the men's and women's side. 60 going out in 60-30 won't be any problem for if they go out that quick for Kipchoge. I'm actually more interested because I do, like I said, I think Kipchoge is going to win in 202 something. I just he's healthy, he's ready to go, he's won this race 3 times. I'm more interested to see if they wouldn't say this obviously in the race, but basically are the other men already saying, oh, Kipchoge's won, we're just fighting for a second, because I think you almost have to be like at that point, because I don't know, there's no way anyone can beat him.
Well, if you run your own race and he ends up falling back, then you can take your opportunity.
But he's not gonna fall back.
Well,
I know he's not. But, but that's the way I would approach it.
Last year he won by 32 seconds over Shura Kitada. So 32 that's a comfortable margin, but it wasn't too long ago. Remember when Guye Adola was ahead of him?
But now he's under different circumstances now.
He is a little bit. Maybe he runs it tactically for 204. And I think last year, he didn't have his best day. So maybe maybe that, it was warm last year though, and the weather's going to be a more conducive to a fast time. So I think his goal is going to be to run in the 202s. I think he does that. I'm tired of under-predicting Kipchoge. I said in September he's going to miss the world record, and then he beat it by 78 seconds. So
I did too.
I think he's going to run 202. I will put the world record out of reach. I don't think that's going to happen here. I think that's just a Berlin type of a thing, and maybe he'll try to go back to Berlin.
What if he did?
I mean, assuming he's a normal human being, eventually you hit a peak, and then you sort of...
Can you still assume that he's a normal human being?
No, I wouldn't. But I'm saying at some point, there's going to be some sort of slowdown. It's just a matter of...
I just have a hard time believing...
Now is the time.
7 months after Berlin that it's going to be the case.
But I don't think other elite athletes are thinking that. I think they're thinking, this is going to be the time I could beat him. I mean, Kitada went toe-to-toe with him, and Kitada's... it's not like Kitada's been around for 5 years cranking out 203s.
Kitada got second in New York, right?
Yeah.
So he's good. He's just not. No one's beaten Kipchoge, and I think Kipchoge's running 202. I'm going to be interested to see what Farah does. Will he get second? Because, like you said, Kitada's been good the last couple marathons, and that could be a guy that's on that next level, so well short of Kipchoge. But I think this is going to be a 202 performance and a big day for Kipchoge. Again, it would be foolish to pick against him. I don't think anyone will challenge him.
Yep, I agree.
Because he's on a different level than he was even a year ago.
I just don't know who could have that kind of confidence, to go into this 7 months after him just destroying the world record, to think that they could go toe-to-toe.
Somebody will go with him for sure.
But I
think we're going to see some blow-ups.
Yeah, going with him is different than finishing with him. I just don't think anyone's capable of that.
Yeah. I haven't raced him yet, but okay.
Jenny!
Yeah.
What do you got?
Well, mine, again, because no one's going to be able to challenge Kipchoge. I don't think that that's a very bold prediction. So I'm just going to go ahead and say that I think that Mo Farah is going to break the European and British records again in 204. After seeing what he did in Chicago, this guy, it's clearly that he has a ton of upside. It's also clear that this is a very good event for him. And since this will be quite the field for him to run with, I think that it'll be able to pull him to that kind of performance. And I can definitely see him resetting those records on Sunday.
Will it pull him to not consider running the 10,000 at the World Championships?
It could, yeah. I mean, it is interesting that he had those wistful comments about wanting to possibly return to the track. But, if he runs well enough here on Sunday, then I think that it could take him away.
See, I think any situation... He beats Kipchoge, he's still coming back to the track. I think
really
just to run the 10K, because if you're beating Kipchoge, I mean, I think you're still good.
That wasn't a point. You just said he's beating Kipchoge. What do you mean?
Well, I mean, I'm just.
So if we go from
saying,
no one's being Kipchoge
if Farah's coming back to the track for Doha, I think.
I mean, I think so too, but I think that's because I don't think
if he runs well, if he runs poorly, something in between. I
just don't know how you.
I don't think anything, barring an injury, is stopping him from coming back.
I just don't know how you could commit to the grueling aspects of marathon training and then all of a sudden decide to go back to the 10K. I just don't know.
I think there's enough time. Well, say he just runs how he's normally run. Like, say he does what you said he does.
Yeah.
So he runs 2:04. He puts the British record and European record farther out of reach.
Yep.
He has a PR that's phenomenal, but he's still, a minute behind Kipchoge.
Yeah.
I think he has enough time then to recuperate and recover and then try to go back to the track. And he's looking at the track right now in that event. And yes, there's some guys who are young and up and coming, but everybody who's like mid-career and post-peak just a little bit, he's already destroyed them all. So I don't think he's too terrified of anybody. I mean, there are some obviously guys who could pop up. So I tend to believe that he would do that. Now, I think the equation completely changes if he beats Kipchoge or something, because then I think he'll start thinking about world record in the event and what he can do. If you beat Kipchoge, you don't think Mo Farah has the confidence? You don't think Mo Farah has the confidence?
He hasn't been at this that long. That's the only.
But if you beat Kipchoge, I'm not saying he's going to, but if he does, you don't think he thinks he can then break the world record?
I would still say.
And
no,
what's more beatable if he's going to get a world record? Is it that, or is it a 5,000 or 10,000? I mean, it's clearly that.
One other caveat we haven't thrown out, and I kind of forgot. I mean, he would be the defending Chicago champion. I think they'll probably toss a good amount of dough his way.
I don't think money. I don't think he's about money at this point.
See, my motivation's still money. I'm all about money.
Well, you haven't made millions of dollars running for a bunch of years. Again, all right, you guys are overlooking the women's race, which is going to be awesome. So I'm going to talk about the women's race. You have Vivian Chariot, Mary Keitany, Gladys Chirono, and Bridget Kosgei. Those 4 women are reigning champions of London, New York, Chicago, and Berlin in some order. Like, the gang is all here.
All here.
But I want to talk about the American women, because you have Sisson's debut. We have Huddle still in her marathon early days, you could say. Like, she hasn't run that many. I think 2:19:36 is going down. I think the American record is going to be broken. Not entirely sure who's going to do it, but certainly Sisson has the ceiling after her race in Chicago. I mean, in that 10K at Stanford, she looked good, but that's a 10K. I put more stock in the Houston half, where she ran really well. And Huddle, I still think we haven't seen peak Huddle marathon yet. And I think 2:19 is not 2:13. I think 2:19 is an attainable time for American women. They're obviously going to have a really good field. That group of women is going to go out really fast, like we saw last year. But there's going to be a secondary group. I think that first group's going to fall apart with 1 or 2 exceptions, and they're going to have plenty of women to chase. I think the time trial aspect of it plays right into Sisson and Huddle's hands. I think we're going to see an American record on Sunday morning.
Why do you think it's going to be that fast? I mean, why do you think these ladies here? Why do you think Sisson and or Huddle? It feels like you're saying you think it's going to be one of the two. You're kind of putting them on almost an equal level. Well, I mean, that's obviously 2:19 is really fast. Other women in the race are going to run faster, but you really have confidence. I mean, a totally different race, but Molly Huddle's coming from a 2:26 perspective, and then Sisson obviously has never run the distance. So I mean,
you see what Hasse is doing, I think Sisson can get close to that, and if the weather is good and the course is fast and it sets up that way,
you have the right competition, you have a good running partner, and Molly Huddle in the race is going to be aiming at the same target. I think that. I
mean, Molly Huddle's 2:26. I mean, you might as well.
Of course.
Yeah,
that means absolutely nothing. I mean, that's like talking about 2018 Boston Marathon times. So the reason why it's tough to decide between the two is just there's so much unknown with Sisson. I mean, if I had to pick, I'd say Huddle at this point, just because we know that she's run marathons before. I get this sneaking suspicion that Molly Huddle's going to have that wow race in the marathon. She may not have 5 of them, but like Flanagan had one in New York, Linden had one in Boston. Like, we're going to get one from Huddle, and I think this race really suits what she's good at.
See, I think if it is anyone, it's going to be Sisson. I just saw her. I know the race is totally different, but saw her just crush huddle in those last couple laps at Stanford, and then getting close to that American record in Houston. I think she's taken to the marathon training. I think it's always been her distance.
Yep.
And I could see it. I really do not have strong faith. Now this means that it will go down, so just go ahead and book it.
Yeah.
But I have strong faith that the
10K.
American record will not go down. I do not think anyone's running 2:19:36 here. That's really, really fast.
Yeah, they can run 2:19:34.
I mean, running lower than 2:19:36. I would be very, very shocked if one of those two ladies broke 2:20. I think they'll run 2:21, 2:22, but...
So this is interesting. So I'm going to go with that the American record will go down, but it won't be Huddle. It will be Sisson. So you're kind of in the middle there. You're saying that it's going to be Sisson.
If it's
no
anyone,
one's going to break the record.
If it's anyone. Yeah. If it's anyone, I think Sisson, I just think she's on a different level right now. I could be wrong.
You got to look at the kind of season that she's having, the kind of milestones that she's hitting, the targets. Oh, she's been almost right on every single goal that she's gone after in every race. And I really do think that this race plays to her strengths. I think it's probably going to be her time to do it.
Yeah.
Well, we'll find out on Sunday. Wake up
early
on Sunday. Watch it.
Not to downplay Molly Huddle because she's always a contender and she's very fierce. But yeah, it'll be great. And I think that if anything, they're going to help each other.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think we shouldn't downplay the effect of that helping their teammates.
Sure.
Like they're legitimate.
Yeah, no, it's going to be a critical element of their success, and it's
going to help Sisson probably more than it's going to help Huddle, just because Sisson's never been through that process before. But it's going to be exciting either way. Yeah, London Marathon, that's streamed on FloTrack in select countries.